Hello, everybody. It's Jen Ferguson here with Artistic Painting Studio, and welcome to my page. So I am going to quickly make sure that we are on the correct page and go share our link real quick. And then we're going to get started to have some fun today. And yes, it's way earlier than usual that I go live. So I know I'm kind of screwing with our timeline today, but we're going to have some fun working with our foils and Prima. Okay. Finally got the link here. Oh, no, I did not. There we go. So let me get this done real quick. I'm posting over in our group called Foil Everything. If you don't happen to be a member over there yet, you want to go ask to join. There's a ton of inspiration. And you're going to just see so many projects and get so much help. So it's always a great place to go check out. Okay, almost done. So don't forget, you guys, we are going live twice today, okay? This one that I'm working on now, we're going to be playing with the Prima products with our foils, showing how our two product lines just complement each other so well. And later on today at 3 o'clock, don't forget, come back, because we're going to be doing a live sale, okay? We're going to have so much fun. Okay, I think I've almost got everything done over here. Let me bounce back. Okay. Perfect. Let's get this open and I can see comments. So you guys, as you're joining me, do me a favor and say hello. I'd love to know who is here, who's hanging out with me. Oh, I now can finally see, okay? So hello, Wendy. Kim is in the house from Vancouver, Washington. Ooh, I bet it's nice and cool up there. Gina, Leanne is even with us. Yay. Leanne is my distributor in the UK. So if you happen to be across the big pond, you can shout out to Leanne and she can get you foils or direct you to who can over there. We got quite a few retailers, not only in the UK, but all over the United States. So, okay, guys, yesterday we had some fun. We were playing with those molds, okay? Those molds are so much fun. And here are the leaves that I did ahead of time. This was actually the reel that posted yesterday. And these were created using a Prima mold. I used the amazing, what is it called? Amazing casting resin. Okay, amazing casting resin. It's a quick set. And don't mix up too much at one time. I mixed up like 4 ounces, I guess. And it was already setting off before I got them all poured, okay? Because I was trying to think, oh, I got all these molds. Let's just make a big batch. And found out that stuff sets off way too fast, okay? But these were done, okay? And again, this one is our weathered copper. It came out so pretty. This one came out a little dark, and I think it's just kind of hard to maybe see, but ooh, that looks really pretty on the light catching it. That one is our copper green slade. And then this tiny little leaf that's all folded over was done with Empire Gold. So those came out really cool. So we're going to figure out what we're going to put those on. That's always the next challenge, okay? What are we going to incorporate them on and add them to? But we also were playing with the decor poly, and I love that these are bendable. You can see how much you can bend them. This one was just painted black and foiled with our silver foil. And I was showing you guys how no matter how much adhesive you put on, okay, even if you like paint the whole thing with adhesive, you can come back and just gently rub and only get the foil to transfer where you really want it to. And that way the black still is exposed and it has a really cool contrast. These were 2 of the other decor polys that we played with. This one definitely bold with our black and gold, and same design painted in a custom color of green and just highlight it with the gold. So a little bit softer and more subtle, but those both came out really cool. So fun stuff to work with, you guys. Okay, so today I did a couple of more of the molds that I casted, okay? And I got these painted. I don't know if I painted them today or yet. No, I painted them, I think, yesterday, okay, on the live. So those got painted. Oh, thank you, Suzanne, for the stars. Appreciate those. And then I painted a bunch of other ones this morning, okay? I'm going to put my camera down so you can see where I'm working here. Hello, Jenny and Paula. Thank you guys for joining. We got Wendy here from Belgium. We've got a bunch of people. Hello, Jennifer. Okay, so these are so cute. They're tiny. Okay, let's see if I can get them up in my hand so that you can see them. Tiny little crosses, and they have so much detail to them. Okay, these I think are going to be so fun because I was thinking that we could do some of these and maybe even get them onto our hat, okay? This is the other trick, okay? Somebody was telling me when you were casting these that if you pulled them out of the mold a little early, you can get them to bend, but then somebody else said, I think a heat gun where you can heat them up and get them to bend a little bit, which would be so cool because I was thinking that would be so much fun that you could add a couple of these to your hat, okay, once I finish foiling them. So I'm just playing around here, figuring things out, and just having some fun, okay? Oh, hold on. I got things bouncing up on my computer even when I've got Do Not Disturb on. Oh, IB Deco is in the house. Wonderful. Great to see you. Okay, so just sharing some fun things that I think we could do with all of these. And even again, this is another hat that I haven't finished. And I don't have all of my trim and braiding on here. But again, I thought we definitely could add maybe a cross to this. Maybe if it's not the bigger one, definitely could add one of the little ones. You can even add those to the hat itself, okay? Even these trims, okay? I thought these would be pretty, that you could either add maybe those to the hat, but they would have to definitely be heated up to try to get the bend, but you could also put them on to the brim of the hat. Everything is so lightweight, you're not going to feel too much weight from those. But just more ideas, you guys, to create with these and how to use them. Jennifer says possibilities are totally endless. Yes, they are. For sure. Okay. Okay. So I want to show you guys how you can apply the foil adhesive. And there's so many ways to actually do that. I'm going to grab a glove just for the fact that I'm probably going to slime my entire hand doing this. If you have questions or anything, please feel free to post in the comments. I will do my best to answer absolutely everyone. And let me just get a couple of things here close enough so I can grab. We've got buckets of brushes. Actually, where are all my brushes? I think they're drying somewhere. Oh, I found them. Okay. In case I run out, needed to know where the rest of them were. Okay. I'm looking for one of my brushes that might not be my favorite or in the best of conditions because the way I'm going to put this on is going to be a little rough on the brush. So yes, these are, some of them I had made ahead of time, and maybe we can't tell. I think I got them painted on all sides, holding on to them, okay? A couple of them I did cast yesterday when we were live, and a couple of them I had casted before with my leftover epoxy from when I was doing my cups, okay? So I did find that I definitely had over poured on a few of these. I think you want to get in here with your sandpaper. Oh, my fingernail's working really good. And get any of that extra over pour just picked away. Probably coming in here with an X-Acto blade, making sure that you have all those edges cleaned up, or just being a little bit more careful when you're actually pouring and that you don't end up getting it over pour. But look at this. I'm just using my fingernail and scraping the edge, and that's working pretty good. Okay, so we're going to take our Artsyville Embellishments foil adhesive. Sorry, you guys, they've got issue. We keep trying to flip the camera, but we've got an issue with doing it right now. So it's time for a new iPhone, I think. And what I like to do, because I hate working out of the container, I like to grab some of this, put it onto my sticky plate, and that way I've got a surface that I can use, and I can grab as much or as little as I need to. If I wanted to add a tiny bit of water to the foil adhesive, I can do it on the plate, because I never suggest you ever add anything to the container. You can contaminate the whole thing. Lupe, sorry. I did all of the molds with the amazing casting resin, okay? A couple of them I had done ahead of time because I had leftover epoxy when I did my tumblers last week. So I did a few of these pours, but most of them were all done with the amazing casting resin, which turns white when it sets up. Now, these are not flexible once they're dry, but somebody said using even a heat gun and heating them up, you can get them to bend a little bit. Not sure I'm going to play with that yet today, but nice to know. So, okay, got my brush all loaded here. Okay, we've got foil adhesive on it, and let's see, let's get these all turned over the right way. Okay, so I'm kind of just brushing off the excess. I don't have a ton, and you can do a couple different things. You can come over the mold, okay, and just hit the highs. So it's not going to get down into all the low areas. And with our foil adhesive looking milky white while you're applying it, when you're on a black or a dark surface, it's going to be really easy to see where you have applied, okay, the foil adhesive. And oops, it's hard to hold on to these little things, okay? But that is just going to hit the high areas so that when you go back to foil, that's all you're going to get is just the highs. But some of these have a lot of depth to the mold itself, and it will be tricky to try to get the foil down into all those really low areas. Okay, with the foil adhesive, it goes on milky white. You can always already see it's starting to dry down a little bit, and it will dry clear and shiny. So I'm going to go ahead and hit a few of these. So I grab some of the foil adhesive, and then I'm just kind of working it into the brush so that I don't pick up a ton. And you want to do more of a technique that would be like dry brush, okay? You don't want to have a ton of material on your brush when you come back over the molds, because it could get into the lower areas, which is not a big deal, because you'd really have to push the foils into those areas to get it down into that lower section. So I'm going to go ahead and do a few of these. Hello, Jerry. So add as much adhesive as you want. And these are so tiny and delicate. They're going to be so much fun. Okay. Like I said, a little hard to hold on to, but we'll get it done. With the foil adhesive, like I said, it goes on milky white. It will dry clear and shiny. It's going to start clearing out within, 5-10 minutes probably. But the longer that you can be patient and wait for them to completely dry, definitely the better, okay? You don't want to push the process, because the longer you allow the foil adhesive to dry, the better it gets to a nice, firm, hard tack, and will give you some of your best release. So normally minimum is 20, 30 minutes that I recommend, but I do let this sit overnight as well, because the foil adhesive will never dry beyond a firm tack. So you can do all of your prep work ahead of time and be ready the next day for your project. Okay, so on these scrolls, I'm going to get down in here and just go ahead and foil everything. Okay, I'm going to put the foil adhesive everywhere, and we're going to try and see if we can maybe do one of these where we can squish the foil down into more of the low areas and try to foil the whole piece. Okay, so you can definitely apply and cover the entire surface. And even if you decided at the last minute you don't want to try and cram the foil down into all those little nooks and crannies, you still can control your foil and just hit the highs. So either way. Okay, this one here, we're going to do the same way. Just want you to see that you can brush it on everything, get it down into those low areas. Breaking off a piece that wasn't really supposed to be there. That was my overpour. And get these all done. Now, I do recommend, if you're going to be doing some of these, gloving up is a great idea, because you can be able to hold on to these and get them covered without gluing your entire hand, okay? So we're going to let those set up for a while, okay? Oh, Jennifer, thank you so much. Jennifer is on here helping as one of our brand ambassadors and making sure that she's tagging and helping answering questions as well. Okay, Leanne is saying, make sure allowing the adhesive to tack up longer than shorter. Okay, so we're really warm here today. We're in Southern California, and we're having a little heat wave because of the Santa Ana winds, and we're in the 70s, which is going to make my dry time so much quicker. Now, being that it's winter and most of you in the United States are cold and snowed in, definitely allow things to dry longer, even though it's going to clear out still within probably 30 minutes. Let all your adhesives, when you're in cold, damp temperatures and environment, let everything dry at least an hour or better, okay? Leanne's a big, firm believer in telling everybody, I think, to let it just dry overnight, especially if you're working on your furniture projects or anything larger. You just don't want to have failure, is where we basically both like to recommend. Now, last night, I put foil adhesive and came back, and within probably 20, 30 minutes, I was able to transfer. But the colder and damper it is where you are, the longer you want to let things sit. Like I said, it's not going to hurt anything. The foil adhesive is never going to dry beyond that firm tack. So you have plenty of time to come back and work on your project, okay? Jerry, yes, we are far away from well, we're not super far, but we are definitely an hour plus away from, I think, almost all the fires. And unfortunately, those Santa Anas bringing in that warm temperature is also bringing in wind, okay? So we are praying for all those people once again that they stay safe during this time. And hopefully no more loss of homes for all these people. Okay. So we're going to move on while we're waiting for all that foil adhesive to dry. I foiled a round, which could be a door hanger, okay? Or you could possibly even make this into a tray by adding some handles, putting some cute little feet underneath it. There's many things that you can do with these. So I did this last night. I used 2 of our foils. So the middle is the wild leopard spots in large print, and on the sides, is the small print. Okay, I was trying to aim that down the center completely, but I was a little off, okay? So I think I'm going to turn the round this direction to have it balance well. And let's see. Going to use one of their transfers, okay? So we're going to transfer this over the foil. Now, during the live, I showed you guys how to wipe on our final coat. I did apply like 3 to 4 coats because I wanted to make sure that this was really set well before coming on here with a transfer, because I didn't want the transfer to compromise or pull off our foils, okay? So definitely seal between layers on doing any of this. Gina says, I was wanting to do... trying to do coasters. Do you have a video on that? Oh, Gina, we do have a video on coasters, okay? And I think I've got some pulled out that I'm probably going to do next week. So I wanted to show you guys the packaging, okay? It's called Froggy Meadow Greens. How cute, okay? So Froggy Meadow Greens. You have to read backwards. And it's great on their packaging that they do show the pattern pulled together on all the different elements and just showing you on how you could put it together. I think those are always great to have, that you've got some kind of a visual where you can just kind of look at things. Now, I have to be honest with you guys. I did not have a chance to pull these out and play ahead of time. So we are going completely rogue here, okay? And just going to play and see how this comes out, okay? I might have failure, and I might just have nothing but great success. Years and years ago, I worked with a company called Faux Effects, and we had all kinds of transfers back then that we used to work with. A little bit probably different than the technology now. Those were more like ink transfers, but they were really cool to work with. So I'm going to cut out some of the elements that I think I want to work with. And as soon as I got a few things cut, let me see if I can help answer. Bethany says, so maybe a dumb question. Bethany, we have no dumb questions here, okay? But the foil adhesive dries to a firm tack. If you do put it all over a piece and decide only to do the top, what do you do? Oh, my screen popped. Hold on. It says, what do you do with the adhesive to make it not tacky anymore in the deeper areas? Oh, okay. Great question. Okay. And let me pull out a sample so I can talk intelligently here. This particular one here, I did put the foil adhesive on 100%. So even where the black's exposed, it is still tacky, okay? Or was, okay, but I sealed it. So the minute I brush over our final coat, which is the top coat to protect your foils, it's also going to seal the tack. So nothing will feel tacky anymore, okay? So I brushed on this one last night and it feels so nice. It's not tacky at all. This one I have not clear coated and there's still a tack. Okay. Enough of a tack. I can almost hold that with, I can hold it with my finger, but as soon as I clear coat it, the tack will be sealed along with the foils and take care of that problem. But great question, because yes, when you are putting the foil adhesive everywhere, you want to make sure that, you're not going to come back and have a sticky, surface in the end. Okay. There's a lot of cutting with this. I didn't realize how much cutting I was going to have to do. I should have done this ahead of time, but hey, just having fun, okay? Jennifer says she has complete faith in me, so let's hope, okay? Ooh, some of these are really, really tight. You got to get in here and be careful, okay? And I realize why they're doing this because, again, it's going to give you so much pattern choice and element pieces to the design, and they're maximizing the space on the sheet, okay? Okay, let's Let's cut out a few more of these. And I think I'm going to start transferring over and get my composition going here, and then determine what else maybe I need to cut to finish this out. And then once I even get them transferred, I'm going to show you how we can embellish on top again and add more detail. No problem, Jennifer. Thanks for hanging out for a while. Bethany, you are more than welcome. And you guys always feel free to ask questions here. I'm one who loves to answer and help everybody out. Okay, so I don't know if this is exactly the way to do it, but I have always done my transfers where I start to get it where I think I want it and then pull off that backing, okay? Let's see if these are forgiving. Not too forgiving, okay? So once it's there, you need to probably rub, okay? So they give you these little sticks, and we are just going to rub over this and see how we do, okay? Oh, yeah, they're transferring super easy, okay? And you can start to even see their carrier sheet, okay, which is thicker than ours. But you can see it kind of releasing from the pattern. So you kind of know when it's okay to lift it up even more. And if you miss a piece, you're going to see it just like your foil, okay? So kind of the similar in the transfer, okay? Oh, look at this. Okay, my favorite thing, peel and reveal, okay? See how they're coming out. And like I said, if I screw something up, that's okay. We all have to learn. Oh, for all of you guys hanging out, guess who's going to be with me tonight? I know you all miss her. Miss Ashley is going to be hanging out with us this evening on our 3 o'clock live. Okay, so make sure that you guys put it on your, set an alarm to come back at 3 o'clock because we're going to be doing our live sale. And Ashley's going to be here to help me, okay? Okay, so I've got a few little pieces. Now, I'm curious, okay? I know that they do their stick, but I'm also a toothbrush person here. Sometimes you've got some texture, and I think that helps to get it down into there. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Look how fun that is going to be, okay? Leanna's saying, depending on the surface that you're applying the transfer to, it may take longer to apply. Jerry says the sticks are great. Oh yeah, Miss Lisa, I am on early, but you have to come back this afternoon because I think there's a hat you want to bid on, okay, that you keep telling me is yours. Okay, so from here, now we can start determining what else we want to maybe incorporate, okay? If we want to kind of like try to hide this in here a little bit. Have this come over the top. Or do I want to just use this one here and let that come over? Okay, I think I kind of like that composition. So let's start here. Lisa, we're doing a collaboration with Redesign by Prima and just having some fun, okay? It's always cool to play with some other products and incorporate them into what we do, okay? So I just want you guys to know there's part of this I don't want, okay? Because I want the stem to look like it's going under and not over. So I'm going to stay short on transferring, okay, on purpose, because I want that stem to look like it came out from under, okay? So I'm going to cut that off just so to make sure it doesn't get stuck and make it my design, okay? But these are fun, okay? I gotta get my finger underneath here now. Hold up that one little piece. There we go. So I'm curious, okay? Does the stick work better or does my toothbrush work good? Because we are on a surface that has some texture because I rolled on the foil adhesive. So when you roll on the foil adhesive, it definitely creates a little bit of texture, like a stippling effect. The stick might be better, okay. Okay, so Leanna's saying work around the edges and then go into the middle. That way you make sure that you got all your edges done. Okay, so this is kind of like the theory that we have with our transparent foils, that you got to really work your edges, okay, to make sure you get a good release. And Leanne has definitely worked with Redesign by Prima a lot more than I have. So loving her advice here as I'm said I was going rogue, okay? And it's nice that you can see immediately what has or has not transferred and go work that section again. But pretty darn easy, guys. And I love it over the foil base. That just gave it such a great background. Okay. Woo. Look at that. Okay. That is turning out so cool. So we're going to have a little fun with this now. I think that's all I'm going to add at this point because I want to play. I want to play a little bit more with a shadowing technique and also adding a little bit of foil detail to the flowers themselves. So let's grab a brush here. Lisa says, I'm here a little late. No problem, Lisa. Thanks for joining us. We are just playing with some of the transfers, and I'm looking for a particular brush here. Okay, maybe that one. Ooh, that one looks better. Where did it go? Okay. Nothing like having like 600 brushes in one bucket. Oh, I want a shadowing brush too. That might be good for shadowing. Okay. So, because I'm going to come in here and do some freehand on top of the design, I have my foil adhesive still out. It's been out for a few minutes, so it's probably getting a little tackier. I'm just going to use some water, okay, in my mist bottle. And, oops, I'm almost out of water in here. Okay, spray that on there so I can water it down and precisely put it where I want it to go, okay? So you want to definitely mix it into the adhesive, okay? You don't want to just use water, but mix it ahead of time here on the plate. That way it's thinned down a little bit. Cheryl says, what is the best way to get started with the foils? Well, Cheryl, I'm going to recommend our beginner's kit. It has, you get to choose different foil collections that you can put in your kit. It comes with the foil adhesive, our final coat, our burnishing pad, the wiping pad, and then, like I said, you get to choose the foils. And then you could always add more foils to your order, but that would be the best way to start. And then also, you might grab Bondago. Okay, so Bondago is what I base coated all of these projects in first because I love working on it. It's a bonding primer and is great to work with. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to just freehand on the foil adhesive. And I'm just going to add it to the center of this flower so we can just bring out some of that detail. And I'm using what's called a long liner brush, okay? And we're just going to let that set up and tack up. Oh, thank you, Tanya. We enjoy working with the foils. I think there's just so much you can do with them. It's just like an endless list of possibilities. Okay, there's a lot of stems coming out of this one, so I'm just going to highlight a few of them to add the foil to. And let's see. Well, let's just do a couple of edges maybe here. Delicately just adding a little foil adhesive here and there, okay? And we could come in and actually paint on top of all of the leaves, or the petals, I should say, and make them even like a pearl white if we wanted to, if we really wanted to pop things. I'm just going to put a little bit here and there and just see what we get. So remember, we can always add more. We just can't take it away. So let's start with a little bit of detail and then see what we want to add. Let's see. Jerry, it just goes on and on and on. It's endless. It's just endless. It's just fun to play, create, have something to enhance. Okay, so I'm going to put away my foil adhesive, and I'm going to show you guys a fun technique that I love to do. Let me see if I can find a color of paint here real quick. Okay, I'm going to do this with acrylic. So I need to see if I've got a color. Bittersweet. I'm actually looking for a dark gray would be best, but I could use maybe a little black in my gray. Okay, let's see if we can come up with a color with those. My favorite color is soft black. And there's another one that is like a gray color. I'll have to see if I can remember the number, okay? Or remember the name. There's so many different acrylics. It's been a long time since I played with this, okay? So I think some of these bottles are just almost empty, okay? Thank you so much, Gigi. Yes, this is coming out so cool. Okay, so I'm going to put just a little bit of what's called bittersweet chocolate, and then let's see if there's any black left in this one. Oh, there we go. I want to make it a little bit darker. So I'm just using my acrylics. I am definitely going to be using more water. Okay, so I'm just putting some water onto my plate. I use tons of foam plates, but as you can see, I use them over and over and over again. Let's see, can I start with the kit and do hoodies, edit hoodies? Not sure. Okay, so you can get the beginner's kit for foil, or I'm sorry, for fabric as well. So we have a beginner's kit that is our regular kit, and then we also offer the beginner's kit for fabric. Okay, so this brush might not have been cleaned well. Let me get a paper towel here. Thank you, Lisa. This is just a lot of fun, okay? So we're going to play with this one for a minute, and then we're going to go back to all those molds and have some fun. Okay, let me see if I can get this brush to liven up. Felt like it was just a little stiff, like it didn't get cleaned well. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so you really are watering down the paint a lot, okay? It should be kind of looking transparent, okay? A little translucent. You don't want it to be too thick. You want it pretty liquid. And all I'm going to do is come in here. Oh, that's still too dark. Well, let's get it thinned out more. Where is that water? Okay, I'm hunting for that water. There we go. Okay. We can use our finger to blend. And you're just going to come underneath the flower, okay? And you are creating a shadowing effect. Okay, that's still too dark. Okay. I don't like this color as well. Yeah, my soft black works much better. Okay, I can't get this as soft as I want it to be. But because we did do final coat on here, this is forgiving, okay? Okay, somewhere in here we're going to get to the right color. Like I said, I was going a little rogue here, you guys. Let's see. That looks better, okay? So it's pretty much just following the shape of your objects right up underneath the leaf. And you want to keep the same direction going. Okay, what I am noticing is the transfers have a little bit of a clear around the edge, and it doesn't want to stick as well to that. So we might have to clear before this technique. But you just drag along the edge, and yeah, it doesn't like the transfers as well. It's like resisting and beating. Okay, but once it starts to work, okay, it's going to give it a little bit of a lift. So it's going to look like you got a shadow and make those flowers look like they're popping off of here in more of a three-dimensional look. But I think I would have to clear this first because it's really beating up the paint. It doesn't like it, okay? So I'll see if I can get it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go really bold here and see. See if you guys can get that where it looks like, well, now it's starting to look like you got a little bit of shadow underneath there, okay? And you definitely can get this a little bit wider, make it a little bit more dimensional. So just another little thing that you can add. And it should start to look like it's popping away, okay? Ooh, that does look pretty cool there. So another thing that you can just play with, okay? And like I said, I think it's going to be best because the paint's wanting to bead up. I'm just going to soften that out a little bit. It's wanting to bead up over the transfers, so we're going to have to seal that first to get that to work. But the nice thing is when you're sealed, things are forgiving, okay? So we would need another coat of final coat. Okay, let's see how our foil adhesive is doing. It's starting to dry a little bit. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, the shadowing's not going to work until you seal first, okay? Let's see, what time are you on the second live? Oh, Leanne, my second live today is it's not Prima, okay? We did a live yesterday with Prima. We're doing this one right now, and then the one at 3 o'clock is our live sell, okay? So we're going to be selling off a lot of our finished products that I've been working on for months and months and months, okay? Okay, so let's let this tack up for a little bit longer, and let's see how all of our molds are doing here. These are going to be fun. Okay, so I'm going to push this out of my way. And this one, I put the foil adhesive on before I went live so that this would be tacked up really well. Oh, thanks, Gigi. Yeah, I'm finding out the hard way, okay? What needs to be sealed first and what doesn't. But yeah, it's kind of giving it a resist. And not wanting anything to allow to stick to it. Okay, so I grabbed a collection of foils here that are more in our golds and our coppers and even a little bit what's called copper bark, which is going to get a little bit deeper, and show you how you can use multiple foils on these together. So I'm going to pick Fine Line Gold, I think, to start with, because I want to start lighter and then build on top of it. All of these foils that I've picked all have a little bit of detail to them. So this one has the black lines going through it. Now you're only going to see those black lines if you're going on something really smooth. Going on these transfers, I'm probably not going to see that, but it still might give it a little extra distress. This one's called Fine Line Gold. And we can crinkle them first, okay? Now crinkling these does cause a little bit of it to come off. And I'm going to go ahead and put it over the whole mold. And I can do a couple things. I can just rub with my hand, and then it's only going to hit those high spots and probably not too much, okay? Or I can also come in here with either our nail brush and scrub a little bit, still not scrubbing too hard, and see how it's coming out, okay? And then determine, okay, I really like it in those spots. Maybe come in with the toothbrush and get a little bit more aggressive to at least get those particular areas and see. Okay, now, if you want it, you could stop there, okay? It really depends. This has a very rustic look to it, but looks really cool, okay? Let's try maybe some of the Copperdale. Okay, I want to see, I'm not sure how all these colors are going to go together, but we're just going to try. Okay, worst case scenario, if I don't like the color combination, because I didn't play with these ahead of time, I can always paint it out and start over, okay? So not all will be lost, okay? Again, I'm going to crinkle, so maybe I can get this one down into some of those lower areas, because once the foil has transferred on the high areas, then it's easier to get down into the lower areas. Okay, let's see. Oh, I think these two will be kind of complementary. And with all the detail of some of these molds, you're probably never going to get complete full coverage, okay? So your base coat is going to be super important because that color is going to show. So definitely plan this out. If you need to, do a sample ahead of time so you know exactly what they're going to look like. Okay, so here it is starting to fill in with that other color. That one's called Summerdale Copper. So I'm trying to get some of the low area and the detail in the design. And like I said, you could have stopped with it this way or just keep adding. But I love the black base. The black base is just going to pop all your foil colors. And again, you can just keep putting the foil down and transferring. Just make sure once it gets rubbed off on an area, you go find another area that has more foil transfer on it so that you can get coverage, okay? Really don't want to use it when it starts clearing out because it's just going to get stuck. I mean, stuck to the foil adhesive. Because that's like putting the clear carrier sheet upside down, okay? Oh my gosh, okay. I'm just getting in here and scrubbing so I can get it in some of those lower areas, okay? And remember, it's always going to grab the high points first. So you've got to get those foiled before it is going to lay into the lower areas. This one, I'm getting pretty good coverage here, okay? Let me show you guys here again, get this up close. Oh my gosh, that is looking awesome, okay? And these colors are super complementary. So that's Fine Line Gold and Summerdale Copper, and they look wonderful together. So if you're looking for a combination, you guys, that one is a winner. I'll have to show you Empire Gold as well, because that's another one of my favorite ones to work with. These foils transfer a little bit less shiny than our regular golds, okay? They're just going to be a tad less shiny, which I think is really pretty on this. And I'll show you guys here in a minute, okay? We'll do a little comparison. I just keep moving my foil around, making sure I'm using an area that still has the metallization, so I can get that to transfer. Okay, and then let's take one of my softer brushes, okay? If we end up with any of the foils just kind of flaking, you can get in here with a soft paintbrush and just brush that excess away. And so to answer Bethany, I don't know if Bethany is still with us, but she was asking earlier that because I brushed on 100% coverage with the foil adhesive, so it's in all those nooks and crannies, as soon as I clear coat this, the tack will all be gone, okay? So didn't that come out absolutely stunning, okay? I love using the multiple colors together because I think it just creates more interest and depth, and having the black show creates that aged look. So that will be beautiful on anything. Oh my gosh, how fun. And the Fine Line Gold, okay, the smooth area up here on top showed the detail, okay? You can see that fine line little crack that it has in the foil. So pretty. Okay, let's try a couple more of these. So you can see that I have a little bit of foil adhesive on the table and everything's getting stuck to that as well. Let's do one of the crosses. Now, remember on the crosses, I just brushed and only applied it to the highs. I didn't try to get into the lows. And you should be able to see that there's shiny areas and other areas that look a little matte. And you'll have that contrast. So only the shiny areas will transfer. And let's try a little copper bronze here and see how this comes out. Oh, that looks so gorgeous. Okay, again, once you do the peel and reveal and you critique it, you can always come back and put the foil back down and see if you can get more transfer if you want. But look at that, you guys. So quick, so easy, and really no mess left behind, okay? I still think that these will be super cool. Okay, I gotta do one. I got some red out, okay? Thinking maybe this would be fun to put a little red on one for that hat, because I really do think I want to try to get one of these on that hat, okay? So I'm just going to use my finger to rub and see what we get. Ooh. Now this is a red hologram, okay? So this one is called Scarlet Red. So it is going to be holographic as well. Okay, let's see if we want to incorporate a little bit of gold with that as well. So here's my Empire Gold. Empire Gold, you guys, is gorgeous. Look at all the detail with that black line going through. It is just gorgeous, okay? I'm just going to try a little piece up here and see if I like the gold coming into it or not. I don't know. I think I kind of like it just the red, but the gold's going to add a little bit too. And there's gold in the foil that's on that hat. But I don't know if I want this gold. I think maybe I want one of my regular golds. Let's grab from the pile here. Not that I don't have any foil laying around over here, okay? Let's find scissors and just use our regular gold. And I might hit this again. See how it came out? Okay, the cross pattern is now in the foil. That's so cool. We're going to hit it again just a little bit more to get the red to be dominating and maybe just have a little bit of the gold hit on there. So again, I'm just using my fingers because we're only going to be catching the highs. I can rub a little harder if I decide I want to add just a little bit more color, or I can also make sure I got more of the red where I want it. So if you've never just tried to rub with your fingers, the heat from your fingers does work well, especially when doing something like this. Okay, so let's hit this one more time, and then I'm going to give you guys a nice close visual here. Oh, that looks beautiful, okay? So let's see how that'll look on the hat. Look how fun, okay? And I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to attach this yet, but we're going to figure it out because I think that would be so much fun to add, okay? And maybe just have the one cross on here. I'd have to get it to bend if I stick it in the middle. So that's why I'm thinking I just kind of want it onto the side. I think it's going to be a little bit easier to put it there. And I like things off balanced, obviously. That's just the way I roll, okay? But those are going to be fun, okay? Lots to add to. And, okay, let's do one more. I want to do this big one, okay, because I really like these bigger ones to play with. Let's try Empire Gold, and maybe Empire Gold with some of the, maybe some of the copper bronze. Let's see. Yeah, the red and gold together is pretty, okay? Okay, again, you start off by just rubbing. Always come back and come in with your brush. Again, it's only going to hit the high marks because that's all it's going to hit, okay? So if you decide you just want a little bit of foil to embellish, you can stop. Or now you can come in and get a little bit more detailed with your toothbrush and let that go a little bit lower into the design. I think I'm going to do this kind of the same way I did the other one. Get a little bit more. Okay. Look how cool that is. Okay. Now let's grab, where's the copper bronze? Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm just going to hit a little piece and see if I like these two together. Oh, yeah. I think that's going to be pretty. Okay. So again, get in here, do a little scrubbing. You can even get this to go over the gold as well. So you can kind of dive in and really work the detail. That way you can see how rich those colors are getting. I know somebody said something about purple, okay? Because it's a fleur-de-lis. But definitely, these are just keeping them very rich and very classy. Oh, Jerry, thanks for hanging out. Tanya, I did not let the adhesive sit overnight on these. Okay, this adhesive I just applied during the live, so maybe 30 minutes. Always the longer the better, but as I was saying, we're super warm right now. So it's probably, 65, 70 degrees at least in my studio. So as it gets warmer, you can definitely hit things a little bit quicker. I just recommend for always best results and to be able to make sure that you're going to have something that's going to come out really well. The longer you wait, definitely the better, okay? But this shows you that you can go forward. Now I'm over Bondago, which I think also helps. That the Bondago doesn't soak or doesn't allow the foil adhesive to soak in. So that you're going to get a really great transfer. Okay, so I'm going to play with both of these colors, integrating them together. I don't want to cover everything. I definitely want some of my black to show, but that top half is coming out so cool. Okay, so the bottom half has still got so much of the black showing, but you can get almost full coverage, okay? But I think the fact that the black is popping everything and popping the detail and not getting all the way down into all those little nooks and crannies is really giving these so much beauty, okay? They just look stunning. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit more of the gold in here. Just kind of hitting it so there's a little gold to begin with, okay? Trying to keep it somewhat balanced. And then come in with the copper bronze and getting way more aggressive, okay? So the more aggressive you get with your brushing and scrubbing, the more that you're going to be able to get that all down into there. And it is going to take some work, okay? Because we're talking some low little valleys here. And you might have to change direction. You definitely have to keep finding fresh areas of the foil transfer and just play. Oh, Tanya, I can't wait to see what you're going to do. They are a lot of fun, and I just love how Prima just has some really fun products to play with. Just gives us another opportunity to work with our foils, add them to everything that's laying around. The molds are fun. Their poly decor is also really cool. I love the fact that those are just so pliable. But we're going to have to try using a heat gun, okay? Somebody was telling me last night, okay, I'm just about where I want to be on that piece, but oh my gosh, talk about stunning. I want to see if I can get a piece of paper underneath here so that you can see all that detail and how gorgeous those two are together. Now this one is Empire Gold along with Copper Bronze. This one I did was Fine Line Gold with Summerdale Copper, okay? So two different combinations. They're similar, but the colors are definitely different. Fine Line Gold is a brighter gold. Empire Gold is a little bit more what I'd call an antiqued gold when it transfers. But, oh my gosh, stunning, you guys. Absolutely stunning. Mary just said, could you use your embossing tool if you want to get down into some of those nooks and crannies? I'm sure you could, but I really like the black popping all the color. So I think it just, instead of having to go back like and foil or paint something gold and come back and do like a black glaze to like antique and get down into the lows, it's already in them for you, okay? The black paint's already down into all those nooks and crannies, and then you can just apply as much as you want. So if you're trying to get full coverage, you possibly could use that. I think I have one handy. Oh, I actually found one, okay? And let me see, okay, so this was Summerdale, okay? So if I wanted to, yes, that will definitely work, okay? So great suggestion if you're really trying to get it into a particular area. You can use something like the embossing tool and pinpoint it where you need it to go. But Those are going to be so fun. We're going to have to figure out what all we're going to attach these to, but they are gorgeous. Hello, Joel. Yeah, the black definitely makes it look so much more 3D. And I mean, if I had done this with paint, okay, with just a painting technique, and I had painted on a couple of metallic paints, to get this look, I would have had to come back with either like a black wax or a black glazing medium and get it to set down into those low areas, but it would still be so much harder to do than this. This was quick and easy. Paint it black, put your foil adhesive on, and then transfer the foil as much as you want. A quick project. Okay, let me see if I've missed anything. Oh, Stacy was saying she thought the second one looked more antique, and it's just the color difference, okay? So like I said, Empire Gold is a little bit more of a aged gold versus the brighter gold that Fine Line Gold is. But they're both gorgeous, just depending on what you're planning on attaching them to. If you're going to go on a piece of furniture, depending on the colors, the aging, and all the detail that you're doing, one or the other would definitely work, okay? Let's see. Okay, so last but not least, okay, we're going to try and see what this comes out like. And I'm going to try some gold, but I also want to try some pearl white. So give me a second. Ash, can you grab pearl white for me and just bring me like 6 inches? I don't need much. Nope, that's it. Okay, so this one is Fine Line Gold, which is going to be a little brighter. Okay, so remember, I hand painted on our foil adhesive over the detail of the flower, okay? Just to give a little bit of a pop to the center. So just to show you that you can keep adding even to the transfers, and get as much detail as you want. I'm just using my finger. Thank you, Miss Ashley. Okay, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just giving a little bit of detail so that you get a little bling into your design. And then I'm using pearl white, okay, because I don't want this to be too much. Okay, let's try one little section here and just see. Oh, I think that's going to be fun. And not all foils are going to transfer this easy, but some of them will just transfer with the heat of your fingers. So I think I only put this over on this one, okay? So that was working with a pearl white. And let's see if I can get you guys, oh, okay. So you can see as I kind of hit a little bit of light, it's just giving a tiny bit of shimmer to the flower petals. You could decide that if you wanted to paint them all completely with the foil adhesive, or again, just do a little highlighting and have fun with it, okay? Oh my gosh, that came together so pretty. So much that you guys can do with combining your foils, bringing it in, redesigned by Prima, their transfers. I mean, I know this isn't going to go with it, but, you know, if I wanted to even add one of the molds, okay, you can definitely glue a mold onto here and just continue to add and have fun. So thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I got a feeling this is going to be the first of several collaborations with Prima. Palm and I just kind of have the same kind of mindset. We love being able to work with other companies that have the same kind of business ideas, okay, and how we can enhance each other's products and just kind of bring things to life. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. Okay, again, I'm going to remind all of you, okay, we're going to be back here at 3 o'clock today. Ashley's going to be joining me, and we're going to be doing a live sell. So that means projects that I have finished over the last couple of months that are ready for a new home, okay, including this hat, are are going to be sold in the live sale today. And I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I probably got 8 or 9 hats. We have door hangers. We have tumblers. We have other projects that I've worked on. So make sure to come. It's a fun time. We start with opening bids on everything. We give you so much time to come back and bid. We do suggest when you do this, don't put dollar signs because Facebook kind of like, doesn't let all those comments come through. Okay. But if you have time this afternoon, come join us at 3 o'clock and we'll see you then. Bye guys.